Hello, welcome to Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. I'm Gabriella Espinosa, your life shift catalyst and creator of Pure Soul Alchemy. I help people who are at a crossroads and ready for a new direction in their lives, but may be feeling stuck or like there's no way out of the challenging situations which they are facing. I assist them by shifting their energetic grid so that they can make quantum leaps with ease and simplicity, and so that magic can literally happen. I'll be taking us through a soul realignment process for the next 30 minutes, so be sure to find a nice, comfortable place where you can lay down, relax, and receive this session. This show is a healing session on reining in compulsive thinking. Compulsive thinking can get the best of all of us. How often have you sat down fully intending to accomplish a particular task, but then hours later find yourself spinning your mental wheels in thoughtsville? Sound familiar? Compulsive thinking hijacks our volition and leaves us feeling out of control, like a failure, confused, and powerless when we set out to make productive and beneficial changes in our lives. Here's a quote from the blog, Beyond Karma. Recurring thoughts and underlying emotions arise from the past. They arise from samskara, which is the conditioned and unconscious mind. They are the output of memory and grooves left over from past reactions. We can see that they steal our joy. We can see that they are useless. We can also see that the mind ego takes a peculiar pleasure from cycling through these thought stories over and over and over again. So today we will explore some of the underlying causes for our own habitual mental distractions and implement curative procedures along the way. There will be quite a few moments of silence as I am being with these processes, so just relax into the silence during these times and receive the healing energies. Pure Soul Alchemy is a transmission of channeled healing technologies which restructure your creative source grid. It's a channeled energetic field where transformative operations and procedures are enacted for you while you comfortably relax. Through my perception and vocalization of the inner energetic grid, we are opened in ways which allow these technologies to come into our physical reality and enact change on our behalf. Again, be sure to be in a place where you can lay down and relax deeply to receive the session. To learn about upcoming Pure Soul Alchemy workshops, classes, events, and about scheduling your own Pure Soul Alchemy session, go to www.puresoulalchemy.com. It's quite helpful to go back and listen again repeatedly to deepen the effects of the session and to take the healing further. If you don't understand some or any of the words I'm speaking, or even find yourself falling asleep, don't worry. What is most important and of most benefit is that you relax as deeply as possible to receive the energy transmissions of the operations, rather than trying to stay alert and focused on the wording or ascribing any real-time meanings to them. So now take some deep, profound breaths and bring into your awareness, bring into your heart, into your pelvic bowl, an area in your life where you have your own particular habitual compulsive thinking, over-analyzing, or replaying of past events and patterns. And we'll begin by calling forth all of the ascended masters, all of the archangels, establishing a heart link with the soul star above the head, with the incarnational star in the abdominal region, the Earth star below the feet. And we are flowing a microcosmic orbit through and around each of these centers, including our heart center. And we're going to infuse and circulate the energetic healing dynamic of our own inherent virtue and our own inherent innocence. Circulating these inherent qualities for the purposes of healing that which we have set forth to heal today. We're establishing a heart connection with the great I Am Presence, Mother, Father, God, Creator, Great Spirit, Source, Mother Earth, the elementals, the nature fairy and Davic spirits, the animal, plant, and mineral kingdoms, and all of our higher levels of consciousness and all of our higher councils, all the way to Divine Source. So we're going to begin our session on a general and focused clearing on the conditioned and unconscious mind. And this is our individual mind and the collective mind as well. So we are receiving individual healings today, but we're also sending out a healing for mass consciousness, the unconscious mind of mass consciousness. So we're in a process of letting go of, so paying our respects to the past and implementing a letting go. It's a process, it's a letting go process, but there's a better word for it. Let me see if I can find it. A passage. So we're just viewing this as a passage. And just while this is going on, I just want to give a little information that this letting go passage, it's kind of like a sloughing off, a dying off. And I'm not doing it, or our guides aren't doing it. We're just providing the space for this passage that has been well ready to happen for a while, for all of us, for many, if not all of us. And you can think of the birth and death and rebirth cycle, the cycle of life that's always at play. And sometimes we get into a holding pattern, wanting to hold on to a particular stage in that birth, rebirth passage. And it's the holding on that causes us a lot of pain and suffering. And yes, compulsive thinking. Okay, so something about infiltrating of mass consciousness zeal. I'm not quite sure what zeal means. I believe it's a good thing. Let me look that up real quick. Eagerness and ardent interest in pursuit of something. Fervor, zeal to succeed. Eagerness. Great. So let's also do some mitigation of this mass consciousness zeal. And let's also implement our receptivity of the positive and beneficial aspects of this zeal. Zeal for life, zeal for consciousness, also zeal for commitment to life and its passages. So we're just being with these processes for a little while here. They feel pretty substantial. Okay, so while that is still really well underway, we're going to work a little bit on our inner voice, and in particular the qualities of hypercriticalness and there's another quality that we want to do some reconstruction on, dismantling and reconstruction. So hypercriticalness and okay, there's another quality, confrontational. Yes, so it's in the form of, and this is just what I'm seeing here, almost too many questions, questioning the very essence of who we are, and this is not in a good way, and then the hypercriticalness. Okay, so what we also want to do is we want to clear the way for constructive criticism. Great. Let's do some repair work on our own relationship with our inner voice. And we're going to work on the relationship from both ends, from within the inner voice itself and from our own relationship and interpretation and understanding of it. And then also that piece about placing too much stock and validity on our inner voice. Right, so as I'm naming these parts, we are implementing clearing on them. Right, so we're having a nice clearing going on these pieces that I've named. And we are implementing a gradual and loving and kind shift in our understanding of our inner voice, of our inner dialogue. Great. So what we want to do is we want to implement changes not only in the way that we perceive this inner dialogue, which is a reflection of our unconscious, but also our superconscious. Great, so let's do some work on heightening discernment and implementing a substantial increase in our awareness and our ability to see them for what they are, the voices, as well as supercharging and enhancing our ability to stand firm as in the role of the witness as we connect with, listen to, and respond to these inner voices. Great, so let's go ahead and do some empowerment processes. Empowerment in the way that we know that we have the ability to take back the reins, to put ourselves back in the driver's seat with these inner voices, these inner dialogues. Just through our simple awareness of what is playing out in this inner dialogue. Great. Let's go ahead and do some opening up of our consciousness to become aware of the historical source of these inner dialogue, mainly the inner critic and the confrontational nature. Once again, I would like to just remind everyone to relax and receive the session rather than trying to ascribe any real-time meaning to what is being implemented. Great. So we're going to do some work on our ability to acknowledge that in the moment when our thinking has got the best of us, and just our ability to slow down and just realize what's happening. That's a big step towards disengagement of the overthinking and compulsive thinking wheel. All right, so one underlying reason, there's many, is the wanting of approval, the seeking external validity as well as internal validity. Great, so let's go ahead and do some work on that right now. Okay, let's also go ahead and do some clearing of the tendency, the program, to replay emotionally charged scenes over and over. And again, seeking external positive appraisal. Appraisal. Or appraisal, we're open. Great. Another motivator we want to do some discharging on is anger and a perpetual need for seeking justice and, I don't have the right word, but rightness. It is a word now. Rightness. Being right. All right, so something about this program that shakes our faith in the divine mechanism of life and in ourselves. Another underlying motivator for compulsive thinking is seeking to run away from fear and mistakenly seeing the perpetual thinking pattern as a way to fix the problem or to fix the fear. So implementing some dismantling of that erroneous belief and motivator. And again, implementing, or I should say strengthening our ability to relax into faith of the overarching divine mechanisms. And we're not taking a back seat in our lives. What we're doing is we're extending our empowered will, our strengthened and our valued will, extending that to the divine mechanisms and intelligence of existence, so that our lives becomes a collaborative process. And it is at this point that we can engage with divine intelligence and seek questions and receive answers so that we are in the know of what's going on rather than allowing our thinking processes to run amok and create erroneous and false realities, which in turn become prisons. Great. So while that is underway, we're going to do some strengthening of our acceptance muscles, our ability to accept what is, and even accept our compulsive thinking. Our success will be even more successful when we accept what's going on. And this includes our compulsive thinking habits and patterns. When we can bring them into our acceptance and non-judgment, then we free ourselves up to shift out of them. Another quote from that blog site: the energy of opposing these repetitive and compulsive thoughts simply energizes more thought. All you get is more thinking and more judgment. When you can go into acceptance, you cease adding more layers of suffering. And like I said a little while ago, you open up your volition and your creation potential and your creation capacity. I'm going to do all that is really strongly underway. I want to do a little bit of work on clearing not feeling good enough, feeling that what I do is not enough, who I am is not enough. Chronic, repetitive thoughts of unworthiness. Great, so we're going to go ahead and infuse the energetic healing dynamic of contentment. All right, let's go ahead and clear a perpetual cycle of confusion as we are implementing contentment. Contentment with who we are, with our level of output, and transubstantiating our awareness. So we're now bringing our session to a close. I'd like to thank you for joining us for Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. To learn more about upcoming Pure Soul Alchemy events and scheduling your own one-on-one session, go to www.puresoulalchemy.com. I highly recommend that you listen to this session repeatedly. This will deepen the effects of the session and take the healing further. This is Gabriella Espinosa. Have a wonderful day.